strange thing happened the other day at work. A common topic of conversation came up from a new client who said, "I used to be so much fitter when I was younger." Normally, we'd talk about what's been happening in their life since then. But instead, I had an idea. Why don't I test my fitness and compare it to 10 years ago? So I got to work thinking about the most scientific way to test this out. I looked at biomarkers, anthropomorphic data, flux capacitors, and then I figured it out. What if I travelled back in time and raced myself? In my final year rowing for Ireland, I pulled my lifetime best 2K time. You'll recognise a couple of much more successful Irish rowers.
Close your eyes and pull like a dog.
So, using a Concept 2 row erg, I'll set my personal best time as a paceboat and race it over 2K. With no further planning, I started warming up. If you've never done a 2K before, it's a wonderful test of fitness. It's generally looked at as testing both aerobic fitness and anaerobic fitness. And Jim Jones rates it as a great way to expose your psychological fitness. Ha! Perfect. In that case, let's begin. It's worth looking at this point at the contenders. This is Johnny at 21. He's 6'2", around about 70 kilos, lean, mean and driven to be the best rower possible. This is JP at 31, still amazingly 6'2", 95 kilos and working to help others improve their health and fitness. What we're testing here is power output. How much has that changed over 10 years of training? Behind the scenes of this rowing machine, there's a lot of really cool computing power. The Concept 2 rower has been around since 1976, and they've evolved a few times along the way, but are largely consistent now since the early 90s. This allows us to compare fitness to people almost 30 years ago. The main number I'm focusing on the screen is the split time. This is how long it takes to row 500 meters. The algorithm within the monitor that is used to calculate this is designed to mimic the fluid resistance of water on a boat. This means as the boat moves faster, the drag increases and the power has to greatly increase to keep up. This is why you could row 500 meters in say 2 minutes and feel just fine. But if you were to go 5 seconds faster, it might leave you rolling on the floor in agony, unable to recover. Heavy foreshadowing. So back to the race. When I set this personal best time, I'd been rowing for almost 10 years. My goal was to compete at the Olympics, and while I never achieved that, I did row at multiple World Under-23 rowing championships, and even placed in the top 10. In a week, I would train at least 30 hours. And if you'd like more insight into what that training looked like, I did this blog article for my friend. You can check it out in the description below. And everything was based around, does it make the boat go faster? So my diet, sleep, social life all revolved around rowing as fast as possible. In the past 10 years, not only have I changed my name, but I got a job, I got way stronger, I learned to do the splits, learned new skills, I started a business, I closed a business, got married, got a dog, even had COVID. All that to say, I haven't really been focused on rowing. In fact, I've really kind of avoided 2Ks. They kind of scare me a little bit because I remember how awful that last one felt. This challenge then, if you haven't figured it out, isn't really a fair test. I'm holding a pace my body isn't prepared for, with a mind that isn't conditioned to deal with this challenge. So my goal here is merely to see how long I can last. So we're just going to wait and see when I crash and burn. I tried to have a camera set up so that we could see the pace boat, but unfortunately that didn't really work out. I remember how different life was back then, and I've also changed how I measure success. So I'm totally okay with whatever the result is today. A different test might yield a different result. In fact, here's some other measures of health and fitness that I know for a fact would be better. My core strength, immunity, bone density, muscle mass, my balance, and agility. All tests are limited. It's important to remember not to confuse the test with what it means. The scales are a perfect example of this. Seeing your weight go up or down without context isn't very helpful. For example, there's a bunch of reasons why the number going up might be a good thing or a bad thing, and the same if it goes down. I don't believe we should limit ourselves to the outcomes of these tests, but instead use them to empower our decision-making process. I'm still very fit. I've kept myself fit since I was 15, and I intend to keep doing so until I'm very old. I never want my health or fitness to hold me back from doing anything, whether it's playing with my nieces and nephews or going on an adventure with my family. I work with too many people who are held back by pain, body fat, or misinformation from profiteering companies. Instead, I want to inspire people to try or even just start building a surplus of health and fitness. Let's not allow comparison to our younger selves or even what others expect of us to hold us back. Rowing can be a great place to start. It's low impact on your joints, you can build incredible strength and phenomenal fitness. It's easy to use at home or at the gym. If you're brand new to rowing, check out this beginner's course that I made, or if you've been doing it a while, try some of these workouts to follow along to. And there it is. That was 1200 meters. I've also linked a bunch of articles in the description to topics we've talked about here today if you fancy a little bit of deeper reading. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.